on this, on the A, and we're at the point I'm ready to get this engine back in. But we've lowered the body down, we got a bigger bigger transmission and everything else. We've come a long way from the 4-cylinder that comes in these things. So what we got to do is I got to open this firewall up here so we get the tranny and everything all back in here. So that's where we're at now. It's time to open that up, and then I get the motor in here and everything. So I've already taken some measurements on this, on how high up I have to come, so I can get at least a rough cut in here of, and then fine fit it and everything. It's nice when you got a plastic mock-up block or mock-up transmission and all that. I don't have one right now. And so we're gonna be just putting the small block Chev in here. Like you saw in previous videos, I have already put the motor mounts and everything in this. So we know all that fits. It's just a matter now of fitting the body. And like I said, fitting the body here. And that we're gonna cut out. I've already made the template. And we'll go through on measuring that up and how I came to these measurements roughly. Because it sucks to cut a whole firewall out and then have to touch everything up afterwards because you made too big of a hole. So you can, and guys do it, don't get me wrong, and I've done it before too, and sometimes it's better. You can break all the spot welds and everything in here on these and pull this firewall right out. So an old school trick used to be, actually, if you needed more room, you take these firewalls, take them all out and turn them around. So now it dishes this way instead of dishing that way. A lot of times you do that with stock stuff where the front frame rails haven't been stretched, so you get the distributor in and out. Gives you that little bit more room. This one we don't have to do it with, and personally I like leaving all the original, you know, when you have a nice firewall like this, it still has all the original beads and all that in it. I like leaving that and sort of going on to that. It gives that little bit of an original look, and that's just me. Everyone's different. I've seen them where guys cut them right out, bead rolled them nice and pretty. That looks good too. It's just the way I prefer to do it, and leave them just looking that little bit stock. So everyone has their own way of doing stuff, and hey, there's nothing wrong with that. That's why this hot rod world's kind of a cool freaking world, because everyone does stuff different. They do it to what they like. So what I like, someone else might not like, but hey, that's up to them. So that's where we're at right now. So we're gonna take some measurements, clean some of this here all up, and that, so it doesn't kill our markers, because this shit here, this looks like gas and everything here and all that, that'll kill a Sharpie in freaking no time. So just take the extra time here that we're gonna do, and just clean it up. If it wasn't minus FU outside right now, because winter decided to show up, I'd actually take it and give her a little power wash in there. But it's minus FU outside, so I'm not going outside and power washing. I'm trying to be outside as little as possible right now. So let's go outside here to the Great White Tundra, where I'm trying to spend as little time outside as I possibly can right now, to be honest with you. She's a little chilly out here. So what we need to do, I got a transmission sitting out here, and like I said, here we are. This is winter in Canada here. You know, it's great. Absolutely great. So to all you people that said you're moving to Canada, just remember this is Canada. She's a little chilly. But what I have right there covered in that pile is a transmission. So there's a mock-up one there, but I can't measure the height and the width very easy on that one. This one here I can. So what I'm gonna do, oh my God, this sucks, just so everyone knows. I'm not a fan of this shit. So the tranny, we know, sits flush in the frame. The pan sits flush to the bottom, like we went through when we did the engine. So when we did the engine mount. So all I need to do then is measure from the ground here to that point right there. We're 15 inches to the top there on the center, and then you're going to measure across here. This is about 18 inches. So that's what you're looking at for measurements for your cutout, and that, so that tranny will fit in, fit the firewall, and we'll be able to put it in. But when we measure the firewall, we got to remember to measure. We're not measuring when we do this firewall. We aren't measuring from this point here 15 inches. You're actually measuring from where that bar is right there, because that's the bottom of your frame there, and that 15 inches. So what I would do, or what I am going to do, is I take a level, put it on the bottom of the body, because that is now the bottom, just like that. And then from there up, you measure your 15 inches, which actually I've already done. It's kind of cheated a little bit. Magic TV right here, I've kind of cheated a little bit. That's 15 inches right there. Right there. So, and I've actually already measured here. If you look, the center line's in here. The center line of this got done a long time ago when I mounted this body. So once you do that center line, leave it, because now everything's coming off that center line. So when I did that, my frame rails and everything are off that center line. So be very, very precise when you first do this. Don't try cheating, because in the end you're going to cheat yourself, because this whole car will end up being off, and that with the body and everything. So once you do that, leave that line. Don't get rid of it. Leave it there, and then I'm going to come from the center line, and that I'm going to come over on each side, because we had 9 inches on each side. Then that is what we're going to do. So what I have already done here, and that back to the magic of TV. I've already done this. I already made this little opening here that's more or less the transmission, is what I've done already. So what I'll end up doing here is taking this piece and putting it right there, like that. And then I'll trace this onto here, because actually, in the end, we don't end up 18, because remember, we've gone to the bottom. The bottom's 18. Up here is not 18, because this thing tapers in. Than that. So if you would have done 18 from here, it's not 18 from here. It's actually 18 from down here. So by the time you get up to where you are, you're less. So that's why I make a template like that, and do it that way. I've marked my center, and actually when I made this, I folded it over so I know both sides are the same. So that's where we're at right now. We'll get this traced on here, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I got this all marked out here. I got some nice green tape here. If you look though, I had to move my line. That's the original line right there. And then after doing a little bit more measuring, a little bit more look, and top of the train is fatter than what. So what I did is I got my calipers, sitting right here, and I just measured out 1.25 inches, and I just went around. The top I'm okay with. The top looked okay. So I just took 1.25 inches, and then I brought out here. So this here is going to be my first. This here will just be my rough cut. But once we get it in, once we get the motor and trans in here, then we can clean it up a bit more and you know, make it look a little prettier. Right now we want to just get the motor and trans in here, and then we can play with it after that. So that's the plan. But when I took the template, I was lucky it didn't look right. When I took the template out, it was too narrow in here. So I had to fatten it up in this area here. And now we're just going to cut this out. And there's different ways you can cut it out. You can cut it out with the Sawzall, cut off wheel, whichever way you prefer. As long as you just get it cut out. You can chew it out if you want. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, so it's just a matter. You can see it here. This here has been beat on at one time. I don't know if this thing had a beat. I have no idea. I had a heater line. Something run through there at one time, because it is nice round hole. So I don't know what the heck was running there at one time. But once I get this cut, I'll get in there and I'll hammer dolly that flat and everything there, so it doesn't look like a dog's breakfast in there. So we're just gonna cut that out now, and yeah, we'll keep going on from there. Cutout's all done. It's a rough cutout right now. Like I said, I just did it with a cutoff wheel. What I'll do now is I'll just take grinding disc here, take a grinding disc like this one, my flap wheel. I'll clean this all up a little bit here, get rid of all these widow makers that will open you up nice. And next thing I'll do is I'll take one of these like fiber discs here, and I'll clean up in here, because you're gonna be welding in here. So clean that up now, because eventually you're gonna be welding the piece in here and everything. So get that all cleaned up now. And yeah, go out some. We may have to open this up more yet. So, you know, go out some and clean it up so it's all nice. You can go inside and do the inside too if you want. But like I said, all these little things right there, those are freaking widow makers. Those things, they'll cut you, you'll bleed like freaking crazy. So get rid of them all. Yeah, like I've said it a few times. And don't leave them there. You want a quick way to lose a friend? Do that, because like I said before, a friend should lose it on you. And because it only takes a couple minutes just to clean all that up. And you know, any sharp edges, just round them off. And so you don't end up butchering your hands all up. We have a hard enough time with our hands in this stuff than to do it to yourself. So just clean all that up nice, and we'll start figuring out how we're gonna hold everything up, jack everything up here, and then slide an engine in this thing, and see what we got going on. So I'm just gonna clean that up right now, and then we'll go from there. Everything's all cleaned up here now. All your widow makers, they're all freaking gone. You can take your hand, you can rub it across there. No blood and that. So that's cleaned up. That's good for now. Now I just got to figure out. You got to get this here jacked up. I got to get that crosser out of there and get jacked up here so I can get this motor and trans all slid in here and get it dropped in. So that's where we're at now. And that is just sort of move some jack stands around, clean up this floor a little bit. That looks like it looks like the garage puked all over the place. So I need to get that cleaned up here somewhat and make my life easy and pull this rad off. I'll pull the headlights off too, that I sort of just have sitting on here right now, just to make it look a little bit cool. And I'll pull all that off, get everything out of the way. So I got room to work in here. So that's where we're at right now. And we'll get some cleanup happening. So this guy here decided to get up from his 5th nap today. I think he wants to help me put an engine in. He just helped me shovel a little bit of snow. You know, so probably there's a little bit of work. He'll be in for his 6th nap. Hey, buddy? Hey? This little guy here will always put a smile on your face. He doesn't like to be on camera. But he'll always put a smile on your face. Are you going to help me? Hey, you going to help put the engine in? Are you? Are you? Yeah. No matter what you do, this guy here, he'll be out here. He'll come out when you need him. What's going on, Tonk? What's going on? What do you think of this winter? What do you think? What do you think of winter? About the same as me? Are we gonna put the engine in? We're gonna put the engine in? What do you think? What do you think? Huh? Eh? Are you gonna help or are you gonna bark at me? What are we gonna do? What's the plan? Are you the boss man? You got a plan? No? Okay. I'm just checking it all out. So as you can see there, we got the engine in. She's a wee bit cold. I probably should have brought the engine hoist in probably this afternoon sometime. She's a little cold. The hydraulics aren't really feeling the love. And, hey, there's Tonk. He's just yapping off. There it is. There it is. He's upset about something. I don't know. What are you upset about? Okay. Yeah, like I said, you hear him. He's upset. And but anyways, so the steel on steel wheels, yeah, they're not really liking the cold weather either. So we just gotta let this warm up a little bit. My boss over there, he's giving me shit. He wants me to get to work. And then let these hydraulics warm up a bit. We'll be able to lift this up and stick it in that hole right there. As I said, the rad's off, lights are off, so we'll be able to put it in there. This guy here, he's just being mouthy, aren't you? Just being a little mouthpiece. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There we go. I guess he's done. I guess it's time for his next nap. Actually, it's probably time for him to eat and then his next nap. I'll come back in the next life. I want to come back as a bulldog. They got it made. That's right. I know. I know. Really? So we'll get this warmed up and get this thing in, and I'll go feed this guy. Mounts on, got her up in the air. Hydraulics are almost warm enough where we can start putting this in the hole. But as you can see, it's a little bit of snow on it. She's still a little chilly. Still a little chilly, but yeah, it's up. I got the motor mounts on, so it's ready to slide this thing in the hole. So we'll get this. We'll get it. I think the wheels are thawed out enough now that I can move this thing around half decently easy. So let's slide it in this hole and see how good I did at cutting the tunnel hole out and everything, and let's see what happens. Well, I almost got it all the way in here. Dipstick's kind of causing a little bit of havoc. So I'm gonna pull this out and then I'll pull this dipstick out of it and worry about that later on. All in all, it's not looking too bad, but I might have an issue with a lug right there. It may end up needing to open up the firewall a bit, but we'll see here. I don't want to open it up too much and then have to start filling stuff up. So that's the dipstick right now is causing havoc to get this thing to come back and get the trans mount in. But I may end up, that lug right there on the trans may cause problems coming up here. It's gonna be close, but I think it's gonna hit. So I may have to open that up in here just a little bit more. But yeah, that's all you do, just trial and error. Here, I forgot, usually I'll pull this dipstick out. I forgot about this one, and I just remembered when I got it about halfway in. So it's, we'll get that thing pulled out of here and then try to slide it in, and we'll go from there. So let's get this thing pulled back out some. Here we go, we got an engine installed. There she is, sitting in here. I had to do a bit more trimming on it. But there we go. The engine is in. So, like I said, I had to do a bit more trimming in the tunnel area. There, we've got room for the distributor and get at the bolts. You look in here. Right there, we had to do some more. I still had to do a bit more in there so I can get a dipstick to come up through there and that. But in there, I'll open that up a little bit more. So what I'll do, I'll end up pulling the engine out of this thing again and then making all those cuts really nice before I start with the tunnel. But right now, you know, we're a little tight here. But what I'm gonna end up doing here is I'll end up cutting it right along here. And then bead roll this, which will give me, that'll give me the room I need in this transmission. I do the same thing over here. So kind of figured I might, so it's not a real big deal. And I had to do it. I did a little guessing, and it was close. It was close. So it's just, that's all it's got to be done there, and then that'll be good. And then start finishing up the floor area in here and get some cross members in and everything. So that's that's all right. Just one step at a time here, and we're making progress, So doing the motor mounts how we did them back a few videos ago. Everything just everything fit down and fit nice. So it's just a matter of take your time, measure, and yeah, everything's working out so far. So we'll keep plugging away at this thing. Well, we got her looking like a hot rod again. And we'll do a walk around here, making the lines. Got the headlights on it. Rad. I've decided on what rad shell yet, but it's got the lines happening. Got a little bit of shiny on there. But here we are. Floor pans are in. They just need some trimming. Actually, I just refit them there a bit, and all I need is a little trimming. So we get the tunnel on, and the tunnel is going to go in here. So you can see, the tunnel ends up being, what is it? I believe about 7.5 inches up is what that tunnel is going to end up being in here for your drive shaft and everything to come down through here. Then your floor is going to, like we looked at before, in here it's going to come up and angle over into here for your foot room and everything. So you don't end up losing. The problem with flipping your rail sideways and putting the floor in stock and everything coming up is you end up a lot of times with a huge transmission hump in here. And this one's actually not going to be too bad. And you still end up with a huge hump, but where you got to watch is over here at the steering shaft, brake pedal, fuel pedal and everything all in there. But we'll go through all that on how to do all that. So you got movement, but yeah, it's starting to look like a hot rod. So I'll be able to get more of this floor together here. I look like getting the front end in. You got to build a set of radius rods here for this thing, set of hairpin rods. I used my last setup. So that's what we got going on this thing, and we're just gonna keep plugging away on it. And if you like what you're watching, like what you're seeing, share it, follow, subscribe, leave comments. Like I said, leave comments, get some conversation going here, and keep on watching. I appreciate everyone out there that's watching, and we'll keep building away on this. Get out there and build something cool, whether it be in the shop, whatever. Build something cool. Everyone have a great day, and thanks. Bye.